Hello, happy Saturday. This is another live that we're doing. And we're going to start here on LinkedIn. I wanted to talk a little bit about the For Frustrated Job Seekers newsletter that we've been really pushing out quite a bit lately. And the reason why is because we're really honing in on some of the details on what it takes to get prepared to actually go out and ask for that job and get it already. And that's the goal. So here in the newsletter, you'll see there's quite a bit going on, but be sure that you follow our YouTube channel, because as you go through the newsletter, you'll notice every once in a while something will pop up in your feed when you're on LinkedIn and you'll see a new video. That video is being compiled on our channel on YouTube. And when you take a look at all of the videos there on YouTube separately, you'll start to see a pattern on what kind of things can you do first, or maybe some of those fine details that you have questions on. I've had some questions over the past week on how to do this or how to do that. But I think what you need to do is go out onto the YouTube channel and check that out. So please do subscribe and share with anyone that you feel needs help right now finding another job. Today we're going to be talking about Canva. I just put out this really cute set of some great stuff, and actually I think it might be this one here, which is fine. So sometimes I just layer these on top of each other, but what you'll see is that I just put together a few really amazing looking pieces of graphics to share with my audience. And what we've found over time, obviously marketing professionals know that when you have a really strong graphic that's visually appealing to your audience on LinkedIn or anywhere else on social media for that matter, you're going to get many more likes and comments if you put something together that's really relative to what it is that you're posting. Here, I put these together because our team is hiring heavily. And since I have all these superpowers of being able to create some really strong looking graphics, then my team said, hey, why aren't you using some of that magic for our jobs? So if you've been following my LinkedIn feed lately, you'll know that I've been posting these graphics and they're super hot. They're very amazing. And they just kind of pump some energy into the post that you're making at the time. So when you take a look at these, it's just some very basic content, believe it or not. Pick up the free version of Canva, and they have a pretty substantial free subscription program, perfect for people who really want to grow their audience. You can resize on this side, so if you need to change the size, you can do that simply here. So you can choose social media, you can choose videos, and as I mentioned before in previous videos, this software is very consistent. The technology is there. It's very drag and drop ready. It's very, if you can read, you can kind of figure it out. So in this instance, maybe we want to choose something specific to Facebook. And the reason why I would choose Facebook is because it's very relative to LinkedIn. There's not specifically a LinkedIn post. So we'll choose a Facebook post. And we're going to copy this file and make it into this size. And if everyone can see, that's great, but I'm choosing photos, and you're going to be able to find a lot of free photos. I'm using the Pro version, but even without the Pro version at the basic subscription level in Canva, you can choose any pictures. Keep in mind that you can take your own pictures and upload them to the program. But in this situation, what I'm going to choose is maybe I want something spring-like. And every year, I will tend to choose some graphics that are inspirational for the time of the year, and I call them my seasonal graphics. This is something that you may feel is not really relative to you, right now. But trust me, if you're trying to grow your network on LinkedIn, the fastest way to get people to start following you is step number one, start sharing some gorgeous graphics, and people will automatically follow you just to see that inspiration in their feed. So let's get this going. Here I have this beautiful skyline from below, looking up at the flowers. It's very inspirational for spring. Now on the side, I'm just going to go over to my text. We're going to talk just for a minute about what it means to brand yourself. You've seen a lot of my branding. And my branding is very neon. It's very retro. It's also very flashy. And I really like the look of it. It visually attracts. We want to have a combination of static and also video images that are almost like GIFs that pop out at you. And you can see how that really works here. So when you make a consistent I guess like a palette of different colors, different shapes, different styles, you're going to see things come together and you're going to choose this for your own. So here we have this great graphic and it's almost like a sunshiny day. And as far as putting together your own graphics and making your brand, it really matters what you like because that's what's most important. So here, if we want to say some type of inspirational quote or a comment, we're going to look at something like maybe rise and shine. I like that because this does look to me like a morning type of a graphic. So I'm just going to play with it until it looks good to me. And then I'm going to go into this effects and you can do this now. Just take some time to play around with it. Enjoy yourself because what's going to happen is you're going to come up with something like this and look how simple that is. It's adorable. I love it. That's great. Now, if you want to brand it so that it's your own, you want to think about what does branding mean to you? For me, I like to share and educate adult learners on how to present themselves in a way that's their best selves and get people to notice that, specifically in the hiring process or in the job seeking process, so that you can land the job that you're really interested in. And in this scenario, when you're thinking about branding yourself, when you start to play with graphics like this, you'll just start to pick up images and colors and things that really resonate with you. That's what you want to do to brand yourself. It's really as simple as that. People make it so complicated when it really doesn't have to be. It more has to be your own unique style and things that you're interested in. Now, remember, when you stay focused on the things that you're interested in, you're going to be passionate about spending time doing more of that. Obviously, we want to spend time doing things that we like. So we want to make branding more about being fun. And as you use the branding or you start branding yourself and you consistently post, you'll start to see how you can use those colors and palettes and moods and shapes and shades and sizes and graphics and videos and GIFs and things like that that are out there and really just make them your own. You can also use that power to make this type of a graphic more about your professional day. So something here like a graphic like this, I would use this and maybe share my morning routine. Something that's tangible that people want to hear because they want to know how other people are getting up in the morning and getting ready and really getting prepared for the day and preparing to go out and win it. So if you're the type of person that's interested in sharing your career story right now, then I say go for it, because what better way to get out there and start getting recognized and noticed rather than only posting what we've been seeing a lot lately. That is what creates an ocean of people who are struggling and challenged to find work. We've got a combination of people who are looking with this very simple graphic. Now imagine if this John person would go out and start creating some graphics and get his network to share them. That audience is going to start expanding. When he starts to really feel comfortable after maybe a few times of putting some posts out, he's going to start to be able to use that graphic and that power of attraction and attracting those likes, shares, comments on his content to be able to really focus and start to build a network based on the interests in his career path. That's how the two align, and that's something that's really important for you to know, because everything that you're doing in branding is really going to resonate with people that are very like-minded. You're going to find that if you start to share images, graphics, content that's very consistent with your own theme, people are going to start to think of you right away. So when you reach out to them via email or you pick up the phone to have a call, the same thing is going to happen to you that happens to me all the time. When I get on a call with someone from my network or from my newsletter, they say, wow, I feel like I know you already. And that's because I'm sharing personal content, a combination of not just personal content so that people can get to know me, but also real skills and strategies that can help people to move past just focusing on looking for a job, but actually getting it. There's a big difference. There's a pivot. There's a mindset change and a transformation that takes place when you realize you don't have to just look at job boards and scroll, and I call it doom scrolling because I know a lot of times, I have two adult daughters, and even though I'm a recruiter, they don't want to listen to a word that I say because I'm their mom. So obviously they're not going to take my advice, and they try to do things their own way, which makes sense. Young adults often try to do that. Eventually they come back and say, hey, maybe I'll try a couple of these techniques. But I've seen them looking for jobs and they're just doom scrolling. And when you really think about what that means to you and the time that's being spent, the energy, the frustration, but back to your feed, when you're spending that time just really looking at everyone else's comments, when you're spending that time looking at other people's successes, their strategies, their challenges, especially their challenges, because I've talked to a lot of people, obviously, in my line of work that are extremely, may I say, frustrated job seekers at this point. And they're realizing that the market is really shifting. And they feel like the things that they've done in the past, if you're my generation, you were able to go out in the 90s and just get a job because everybody was hiring. And any little skill that you learned, as long as you showed up on time, had a smile on your face, your hands were clean, your nails were trimmed, you know the deal, right? You were dressed to impress. As long as you showed up with a smile on your face, you were going to win it. And times have changed, unfortunately. It's very challenging right now, and you see those things in your feed over and over and over again. And if you're the type of person that can get really easily sucked into negative energy, I know I'm super empathetic, so I can easily get sucked into negative energy, which is why I created the video and the posting on the newsletter that talks more about curating your feed, because that is a priority. You absolutely must curate your feed, because if you don't, you're spending your time doing things or even thinking or doom scrolling on things that you shouldn't even be considering. It's not part of your job seeking day to doom scroll on LinkedIn, okay? But so many of us can get caught in that trap. So you have to try to avoid it. The first thing that I say, and one thing that I tell my hiring managers every day, it feels like, because they're receiving a lot of emails from recruiters out there that are looking to make placements with organizations that have job postings up. And this was obviously Nick, he knows all about it. That's like, it's his job, right? And it was something that I used to do all the time. You know, you see a job and you say, okay, you know, oh yeah, I've got a perfect person for that. But I'm always telling my hiring managers, you know, if we're not going to do this, if we're not thinking about using an outside recruiter, we have to shut off the communication. We have to shut off those things that stop us or distract us from staying on target. And being on target means focusing on ourselves. As soon as you're laid off, that next day, okay, take some time to really psychologically absorb and feel the emotions, because right now there's so many frustrated people out there that are hanging on to these negative feelings, even the nagging ones in the back of our head, okay? We have to separate ourselves from that. And the sooner that we do it, the better, because the sooner we're going to get a paycheck. But think about how many times either you or someone you know has come across a situation where you went into an interview, maybe it was just a pre-screen with a recruiter, and you started talking about how stressful the job search was, or you started talking about how your previous employer didn't give you an opportunity to really shine. You know, you don't have your career story really dialed in, so you go in there and you're starting to drop some negative bombs. That's what I like to call them, because the very first red flag that any screener, any hiring manager, any recruiter is looking for is if you can come in here and be positive and effectively explain your skills and experience and how they relate to the position. Not talking about how hard your job seeking journey is, because nobody wants to know, frankly. In this call, we want to know, okay? We're going to talk about that. We can talk about it all day. Feel free to hit me up. I am happy to get on a call with you and talk with you about how hard your career journey is, because you know what? Sometimes we need an outlet to let it out. But the very first step in your job seeking process is to release the negative thoughts and feelings that are holding you back. Because you may think it's, let me go so far as to say ageism, okay? You may think it's that, but let's first look at what other red flags people are looking at before we try to blame something like ageism, because that is a tall order. If you take on the career story or your career story or your job seeking story, that ageism is the reason why you can't find a job, how are you going to fight that? How can you effectively fight that? How can you overcome? How can you win this battle if you're challenged because you feel like ageism is what's getting you? You can't start with that. You can't lead with that. You have to look at all of the things that will knock you out of the screening process. And you need to do this while you're doing things like putting up great graphics that are going to feel much more inspirational and give you a fresh start. Spring is the perfect time for us to be doing this. So April 6th, I'm excited. It's a Saturday morning. My power hours are the morning hours. And right about now is when I really kind of like drive it home. I'm super excited that we're even having these conversations together. But I think it's really important to know that the very first step in looking for another opportunity is getting rid of all the negative feelings, really filling up your time and your energy with positive things, because anything out there right now can drag you down. Don't get sucked into those traps. Curate your feed, get onto Canva, Start thinking about how you want to brand yourself, because there's a million answers for how you can brand yourself. But let me tell you what, as a job seeker, you only need the basics. You need 3 or 4 steps to follow that are very simple. You're not trying to become a marketer. You're not trying to become a graphic designer. This isn't what this is about. What this is about is showing people that you can learn new technology, that you're not afraid to post content that really resonates with you. Focus and grow your network and curate your network too with people that are going to be in a position to offer you an opportunity. You don't want to be the next best kept secret out there. If you can find someone who can help you, they don't even have to be in your industry. Talking to some early career people, and they were challenged because they said, I've been reaching out to a lot of really great people that I like, but they're not responding. They don't have to respond to you for them to be your mentor. You don't have to have a conversation. You need to go out to their feed and follow them. Here's someone who is a great example to me, and someone that I've been following for a really long time. I would say since like 2012. Sam Parker is, he's an author of a book called 212. And it's essentially a huge part of everything that I stand for. It was where I took what I was doing on my career path, mid-career, and made a pivot, because I realized that I wasn't just working to get a promotion. I was working so that I could give the best customer service possible, because, if you're focused on what it is that you're passionate about, the jobs, the money, all the perks and things like that, it'll come to you. You have to be patient. Stop focusing on the negative energy, the things that say, oh, I need a job right now. Oh, of course we need a job right now. We all need a job right now. But you can't go up to a recruiter and tell them, I'm interested in your job because I need a job right now. I need a paycheck. That's another big red flag. Get rid of that. But what you do need to do is surround yourself with people that are positive, that can show you through positivity that you can move to the next step. Because when you get stagnant or stuck in this one spot where you feel, the example we used earlier was blaming the reason that you can't find a job on ageism, okay? If that's really the case, I want to talk to you about that, because I want to have a big conversation about ageism, but I want to have it with people that feel like they're stuck, because I want to help them really deconstruct what they're doing in the interview process and show them how to overcome those red flags and come out on the other side bright and shiny. Sam Parker, you may want to follow him because he is a keynote speaker. He talks about how to push through those challenging times. He has things for like the average Joe. Wake up, be thankful, be approachable, complain less, smile, start early and go long. At 212 degrees, water boils. But anything above that, above the average, you're going to create steam. Steam is enough to power a train. And that, I love that stuff. It's amazing. So think about really surrounding yourself and following people who can inspire you in your life. Find a mentor. I have not had the opportunity to speak with Sam yet, but I really should put it on my list. You don't need only one mentor. You can have multiple mentors. You're going to pull different things from each person, and it's going to help you really round out psychologically where you are in your career search, where you are in your career, period. And for the most of us, if you're not lucky enough to be retired or you're not lucky enough to be too young to have a job, we're out there every single day. We're going for it. Well, another thing that I wanted to mention while we are here, we have just recently rolled out our program. It's not career coaching, it's more about career strategy. This program teaches you actionable tasks that you just need to follow the steps. It's very simple. As you can see in a lot of the things, the approach that I take is really deconstructing things and taking it one step at a time. When you're stuck doom scrolling and you're not actually taking steps every day to move forward in your job search, you're gonna feel really trapped. You're gonna feel really challenged. I'm gonna stop sharing and we're gonna talk a little bit about some of the tools and techniques that will keep you off of job boards when you're thinking about joining a program like this. It's really designed to kick your search into overdrive. And we focus on identifying opportunities just like I identify opportunities like a headhunter, like Nick does, and then prepare you to ask for the job, to land the job. A lot of it, and I'm telling you, a lot of it is psychological. It's you in the way of yourself. And when you can take yourself out of that situation where you're doom scrolling, blaming big ideas on the reason why you can't find an opportunity right now, that can really feel very oppressive. You need to get out of that mindset. I've talked to a lot of people one-on-one. We go into a lot of detail about this, but essentially what it boils down to is curate your feed. Get that junk off of your timeline. Don't spend a lot of time scrolling, doom scrolling, job boards. Don't do that. You want to focus on you, what you want to do. When you start out every single day as a new opportunity, you get that's a benefit. Whether you're, it stinks because you're laid off or whatever's going on in your life right now. We all have different scenarios. Some people are still caring for their parents. It's created a gap in their career. There's people that are trying to come back to work. Their spouse or other is in the service and maybe they've bounced around a lot, so it looks like they job hop. They have to explain that to a recruiter. All these things are just little minute things that you can get over when you reduce the opportunity for red flags or avoid those obstacles during your career path and the steps that you're taking, because those can really make you feel like you're stuck if you don't know what to do next. So let's get past all of those. We'll get started on branding yourself, focusing on who you are and what you want out of your life, because life is short. You get one. I believe here you get one, and we want to make the most of that. We want to take the time that we have and really spend it on a career that makes us feel empowered to pursue our own passions. That's really important. Not just that, and that should always be the first thing. The second thing should be you deserve to get paid what you're worth. And that will never happen for you until you learn the strategies to ask for and get what you feel that you're worth. We're going to make a strategy on when that really looks like. We're not going to shoot for the moon when you need to take steps to get there. If you're looking for a VP job, a director job, whatever that looks like for you, you can't just jump to another job unless you have a strategy to get there, because you're going to get passed up. And I hear this all the time from people saying, oh, I was just passed up again. I just want to take them and say, let's look at what you're doing, because it's probably just the wrong thing. That's all, but there's so many different moving parts of the job search that you need to set into place a strategy that you can get up in the morning and feel confident that you're moving forward in the right direction. That's the only way to fast track your career. It's the only way to get hired faster. You cannot keep throwing darts at job boards and thinking you're going to get hired that way, imagine your job search having months shaved off of that. Because if you've watched my YouTube channel and you've seen the videos that are out there, every single week that you're unemployed is a missing paycheck out of your pocket. That's, less money in your 401k. That's more opportunity for potentially anything to happen, and you're not maybe covered on insurance. Maybe you're covered on Cobra. I'm not just a marketing person talking smack out here, okay? I am an HR professional, and I know how expensive Cobra can be when you're between jobs and you want to stay covered because you need a prescription. We need to stop doom scrolling. We need to stop doing things that are hurting our chances to get hired faster and go on the offensive. We need to step up. We need to show up. And we need to be prepared to go out and ask for that job and get that offer letter. And we want it to be an offer that we're happy and excited to accept. So I'm just going to wrap this up. I wanted to make sure that I had an opportunity to let everyone know that I'm super excited to share this potential opportunity with you. If you are interested in learning more about our absolutely brand new program that helps you fast track your career, then feel free to reach out. We're going to help you out, and I will talk to you soon.